Hi, Heather.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Coach. Hey there, good to see you. We just talked to Sean a lot about trying to find that sweet spot with Josh as to, how much he should be running. It's such a big weapon of his game. I was just wondering, what did you see from that? And is that something that, you guys try to really emphasize with him is, when to find that balance of when he should be running and how much?
Yeah, well, the quarterback zone read game is, part of our game. And when you're calling a zone read, I can't tell you who's going to have the ball. A lot of that is predicated on the defense and how they play it. It could go to the running back. It could go to the quarterback. There's only a few called quarterback runs per se. And then obviously Josh does a great job with his legs when we're throwing the football, scrambling. So, the zone read is an obvious element to our game, particularly I would say last game. Now, whether it is the next week or the week after that, I couldn't tell you. But, you go back and you play a team like New York, who is very, very good at stopping the run. It's just a way to try to get an extra hat. And, last year, the game that they struggled the most with was against the Ravens, where they gave up over 200 yards. So and that was part of the game plan. And certainly wasn't all of it. And we got to do a good job of trying to take care of the ball when it is in his hands. And he'll work to do that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian, Mike Catalana.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, when you have those circumstances where Josh has pretty much the ultimate decision, is he going to hand it off? Is he going to keep it?
Sure.
Are there times you want to say anything, or you do say anything because you want to get the running game going with the backs? A day like yesterday where it wasn't going as well. How much influence do you have there, or is it basically all in his hands once he has the ball?
Yeah, it's a tough play at times because it happens so quickly, whether to give it or whether to pull it. And he has all the power at that point. And look, I've told you this before. I trust him. It's like reading a pass play. It's just reading a run play. It just happens fairly quick where a guy's on you. I don't know. We called about 8 of them. And New York played, we got some yards out of some of them and some we didn't. So he's a guy that obviously is a dual threat quarterback for us. And, again, one week doesn't necessarily mean the next week.
In that case, I mean, everybody worries about the quarterback getting banged up.
Sure.
How do you guys look at the difference between when 6'5" Josh is running and when 6'5" Josh is standing in the pocket in terms of his physical health?
Yeah, when you have a multi-threat quarterback, there's going to be some of that goes along with it. And what you hope to do is, you hope that Josh knows, when to say when sometimes. And he is such an ultimate competitor that he's going to, he's going to do everything he can do to try to gain that extra yard. And sometimes, yard doesn't mean as much as taking care of yourself. So it's, we coach it. Again, he's a fun guy to coach in that regard. Whether he's in the pocket or whether he's, making plays with his legs, obviously we would like him to be as safe as possible.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Coach, good afternoon. Mookie Hawkins, Buffalo Sports 1080. Good job yesterday.
Hey, Mook. Thanks.
Now, I know how difficult it could be, especially when you don't really get those necessary game reps or any type of preseason or OTAs when you're running zone read, because everybody has to work on one accord when you're running at it. And it's all about what kind of surface are you dealing with, in particular what is Josh is reading. And I think it was some misreads on sometimes he should have gave the ball, instead of keeping it, and vice versa. And the backs didn't do. I think Greg Wills made it kind of difficult for the backs to bang, bounce, and bend it. But how do you clean up Josh's reads and some of that backside blocking on the zone option?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well thought out. You have to practice it at full speed the best you can. And there's going to be times, Mook, where that happens. It happens so quickly that you got to make a pretty quick decision whether to pull it or give it. And there's rules that we talk about, and look, it's like reading a pass play. Sometimes you're going to have a pass play that maybe you didn't want to read, or you read probably not the way you want to read it. Again, I don't second guess. I don't second guess him when he's got the ball in his hand and the decisions he has to make, because he has to do it rather quickly. The minute that you start second guessing or thinking one thing and it happens another, like, I think that puts doubt in a player's head, particularly a quarterback that runs some of those plays. So we look at it, we coach it, we practice it, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Yeah, and you also develop too, because that audible on that John Brown touchdown, man. I mean, just take us through that actual play, and how impressed are you with the maturation of Josh right now?
Yeah, well, that's his job, as a quarterback, is when you get particular looks. In our offense, we give him freedom to get to different plays if he needs to get to them. You'd like to, practice all the plays against the exact looks that you're going to get. Usually that doesn't happen. So when we call a play in, and if there's something that he needs to fix, whether it be a protection or a change of a run or an audible, he has the freedom to do that. And we have a lot of trust in him.
Well, he made that play definitely look like practice, because the team executed it well on the call. And so far, so good. Coach, keep it up for this week.
Appreciate you, Mook.
Hey, Brian, Marcel, how you doing this afternoon?
Hey, Sal, where you been?
Where I've been here, man.
First time I've seen you on one of these calls with me.
Nah, I just don't always have the camera on, man.
I hear you.
I'm self-conscious. I can't be on
I got you.
No, but Josh's first game with probably the best group of weapons he's had at any point in his career. Is this about as comfortable as you could have hoped him to look in game one? Or what was your assessment of how he did with this kind of new look offense?
Yeah, look, we ask every player, Sal, to try to do the job that they have to do. And, Josh's job, is to try to get the ball to the open receiver, whoever that may be. And again, let's not forget, he had Smoke last year, he had Beasley last year, he had Knox last year, he had Motor last year. So, we had Gabriel in there, we had Moss for 2 rookies, and obviously Steph. So there's 3 new additions in the passing game, or in the running game, if you will. You'd like for him to just let the game come to him and not force things. I'm sure there's some plays that all of us would like to have back. But again, he's improved since he's been here from day one. By no stretch are we any of us where we need to be after this game. There's a lot to work on and improve on. But happy he's our quarterback.
And kind of moving from there, how did you feel Smoke and Stephon kind of complemented each other in that first game together?
Yeah, they did a nice job, both of them. Job of a receivers to get open and catch the ball, and they did that when they had the opportunities to. And Bees did a really good job in there too, and so did Gabriel. And I'd be remiss to say shout out to Dre, who did a fantastic job of providing field position. And I know he's a special teams captain. He's also a wide receiver for us that really provided us some spark for our offense.
All right, Ed. Appreciate you, Brian. I'll turn my camera on just for you next time. All right.
Thanks, Sal. Good, guys.
Sal's not unmuting. Oh, there we go, Sal.
Wasn't paying attention there. Brian, if you could tell us a little bit about, stop laughing at me, Fairburn. I see you there. What I really was impressed with Alan yesterday, the decision-making and the poise. It just seemed like he really knew where to go with the ball. Every option was covered. Did you see that on the film? Was it as good as maybe it looked to us up in the press box?
Yeah, like I said before, there's a lot of things that we all did well, Sal. I know there's plays that we definitely would like to have back in the passing game and in the running game, all of us for that matter. Josh has grown each year. We've been together. I think we have a good feel for one another. I think Dorsey and Shea do a really good job with those guys, getting them ready to play. And he he's growing up, since he's been here each year. Again, just glad he's our quarterback.
Okay. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks.
Hey, Dabes, you guys have one game under your belt without any fans. So this week you guys get to face some fans, wondering how weird that may seem or different at all for an offense who didn't have a lot of noise yesterday. Of course, it was a home game, so it wouldn't really be a lot of noise at a home game. But for an away game, is that sound even going to really make a difference considering they don't have too many fans that are probably allowed to be in the stands?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, Matt, as we go here. Obviously, it was a little different yesterday without Bills Mafia and the fan base, from the ride in to the atmosphere pregame, and obviously during the game. I know they were sorely missed. We'll find out as we go down there how loud it'll be and how loud it'll get. We do our fair share of practicing with some loud noise around here, so we'll have to be ready if it gets loud.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach. Other Sal here. I actually did unmute myself, Sal M. Just so
Okay. Hey, Sal.
Hey, when was the last time, if ever, you called a play with 8 true offensive linemen on the field at the same time?
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, we have. That was something if we got down there that we were going to go to. And Bates leaped out there, and they covered the pass, and we figured it was a run pass option there for Josh to have it. But it's good when you get those big guys in there sometimes.
So just to confirm, because you said that, it was possibly designed to go to Ryan Bates. It looked like that on a
Bates
run pass option.
Yeah, Bates could have had it. They did a good job of covering it and got Josh on the perimeter, and it was kind of a walk-in.
And finally, just on that note, Coach, what does it do to have 8 eligible linemen every week now on the active roster with the new rules for you throughout the week and how you can game plan things?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the direction that you want to go for that week and who you need and who has to back up certain spots. Certainly we have flexibility both in the interior and the outside. And in this case, there are some tight ends that they stayed in there for. So, the more up, the better.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian. What can you say about Stephon Diggs's ability to move around the formation and just his understanding of the offense to this point? A guy that didn't get, traditional OTAs and things like that, but still seemed like you were comfortable putting him in a lot of different spots.
Yeah, I mean, he's a smart guy. He's had some experience with some, different coordinators. I know he's just in Minnesota, but he's been around and had different coordinators. And ultimate pro, give credit to him first and foremost, and then Chad and Mark as position coaches, and then, the quarterbacks. Davis Webb has spent a lot of time with him, as has Josh and other guys. But he's a competitive guy who wants to do well. And again, we really place a high premium on smart players on our offense. Smart guys that can move around and do different things, not just at receiver, but in the backfield and on the offensive line and tight end. So he's been a good addition. He had a good game. Again, long way to go, but credit to him for studying it, learning how to do it, showing he could do it on the practice field, and then ultimately doing it in a game.
What does it do for you as a play caller to be able to move him around? I guess not just as a way to soften up the defense, but also as ways to kind of get him open. Yeah, I mean, there's 5 eligible receivers, Matt. So it's not just Steph that has to do it. It's the other 4 guys too. And really, they all can do it. They can all play different spots and understand different roles. So whether it's, it maybe looks like we're moving Steph all the time, but we might be moving some other guys too. They all have to know it. They all have to be able to go out there and operate effectively for us to have any type of success. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian, Adam at EDWGRZ. I wanted to go back to something you said earlier. There's the issue of the number of carries that Josh ultimately gets, right? And then there's the issue of what he does or how he protects the football when he does in those situations. And Sean was pretty strong on this in his response of Josh needing to do a better job and trying to do too much in certain situations. What's your read on that and where he stands entering year 3, kind of specific to what you saw yesterday?
I think it's, you know, we try to improve that every week. And there's times that's going to happen. And at the end of the day, we have to come down with the ball in our hands and give it to the official. So, you know, that's not just a year-to-year thing. It's really a day-to-day thing for us. And it starts in practice with the drills that we set up for him to do. And, you know, whether it's a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday, or get into a Sunday, which is obviously the most important, you know, his job is to take care of the football, throw it to the right guy, and lead the team down to score points. At the end of the day, that's what a quarterback is judged on. So, you know, we always have work to do. We always will. And that's with every player.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. So thank you, Dabes.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.